Hi, I'm Charles, and you're watching The State of the Republic. Well, this was a big news week. The Senate Republicans continued their efforts to repeal Obamacare, or as it's better known on their side, the socialist, Kenyan, Marxist, communist, fascist, Islamist, atheist, America-hating, antichrist attempt to steal the precious bodily fluids of and kill all of us red-blooded patriotic Americans by giving us health care. Their efforts went down in flames this week, with the final vote on Mitch McTurtle's skinny repeal being sunk by defections from Senator Collins from Maine, Senator Murkowski from Alaska, and Senator McCain from Arizona. Predictably, the White House reacted poorly to this failure, with Orange George Wallace lashing out on Twitter and demanding that the Senate continue its efforts to repeal the ACA. Congratulations to all the activists who helped make this happen and stop the Republicans' terrible bill. America is a better place because you succeeded. The Republicans are not necessarily giving up, though, with some Republicans considering supporting a plan by Senator Lindsey Graham that would keep much of Obamacare's taxes but block grant federal health funding. In any case, Republicans are expected to move on to their next plan of tax reform, or as the rest of us call it, more tax cuts for the rich and corporations. At the White House this week, there were several major staff shakeups, with Melissa McCarthy impersonator Sean Spicer resigning from his post of White House press secretary and being replaced by Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Spicer has since been rumored to be considering appearing on Dancing with the Stars. To be fair, Rick Perry did that after all the other stupid shit that he did, and he's now America's Energy Secretary in charge of our nation's nuclear weapons program. There's no way that could possibly go wrong, is there? Spicer resigned due to the hiring of Anthony Scaramucci as communications director, who promptly proved himself to be at least as crazy as Trump, accusing then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus of leaking information and being a paranoiac, and Steve Bannon of having, let's just say, unusual flexibility-related skills. Although I must say, I cannot reasonably believe that Bannon could do anything near that. He looks like the kind of guy who would have some trouble touching his toes. Priebus has since been fired in favor of General John Kelly, who had previously been Trump's DHS secretary. John Kelly, who is really just a dumber and angrier Al Haig, has previously made statements joking about using a sword against the free press. Great choice. Should fit right in. Next up, I'm inaugurating our first Democratic Trump segment, which would imagine Donald Trump's statements on the news of the week if he was looking in from the outside and he was somewhat reasonable and intelligent. Our nation's Republican leaders just failed again at their desperate attempts to repeal the ACA. We should move to a healthcare system more like Canada's. This sad president just announced that he will spend 3 weeks vacationing and golfing when he should be fighting for the American people. Sad. Our main topic today will be Social Security, the thing that your grandparents are always complaining about not being enough. Social Security was first established in 1935 under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as part of his New Deal program and provides old age, disability, and survivors benefits. First off, Social Security isn't just for old people. Social Security is a class issue, not an age issue. Social Security provides disability and survivors benefits. That means that you are physically or mentally disabled or your family's primary breadwinner passes away, you will not end up in abject poverty. Social Security is indeed one of America's most important anti-poverty programs, with the estimated elderly poverty rate without Social Security being over 40%. There are many on the right who refer to Social Security as bankrupt. This is patently false. Social Security has its own dedicated revenue stream in the form of payroll taxes and currently has a $2.7 trillion surplus. If Congress takes no action on the issue whatsoever, in 2 decades Social Security will run into some funding issues. But just based on the payroll taxes paid in, it will still be able to pay over 75% of benefits. Those assumptions are based on the most conservative estimates of economic growth and income growth available. As a solution to this non-existent crisis, Republicans often propose cuts to benefits. This is stealing from the American people. Social Security is an entitlement because you earned it by paying into the program. You are entitled to it the same way you were entitled to $100 if you deposited $100 in the bank, or you were entitled to your pension. Another attack by the right is that Social Security provides a poor return. This is not what it is for. Social Security is not an investment to make money. Social Security is social insurance, as evidenced by the full name of the program, Old Age, Survivors, and Disability Insurance. The right often wants to privatize Social Security, forcing people to gamble with their retirement on Wall Street. It is fundamentally reckless and irresponsible to put the retirement of millions of Americans in the hands of the same people who have repeatedly crashed the economy. Social Security is an important program that helps millions of Americans. In these uncertain times, we should be expanding Social Security, not cutting it. We should be doing proper cost of living adjustments. We should be expanding benefits to working Americans. The way to pay for this is to scrap the payroll tax cap. Currently, if you make over $117,000, none of the money over that goes into the Social Security Fund. The Social Security 2100 Act will lift the payroll tax cap over time, expand benefits, change cost of living adjustments to more accurately reflect the expenses of the elderly, and extend full solvency well into the next century. The bill is supported by over 80% of House Democrats, yet instead of expanding Social Security, the Republicans are already trying to cut it. Republicans in the House, led by Speaker Paul Ryan, have already written up plans to cut Social Security benefits. Republican President Donald Trump's Office of Management and Budget Director Mick Mulvaney hates Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid and wants to cut all of these important programs. It is important, now more than ever, to call your representatives and senators and tell them that you are against any cuts to Social Security and that you support the Social Security 2100 Act. Also, we must turn out in 2018 to vote these robber barons and their lackeys out of office and preserve this most important part of the American social safety net. Thank you for watching the program. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting content.